Damn! Welcome back to day number 2. Let's see if this scooter starts up fairly easily today. Now that it's been sitting overnight, give it a small amount of gas. Look at that. Let it come into its own little warm up there. There we go, it's starting to get some fuel and warm up. That back tire should start spinning. Oh, this one doesn't reach a high enough RPM. Let's make sure it idles down and everything. Sounds like it's going into its idle down. Idled down just fine. Let's give her some fuel, make sure she's still going. Yeah, this scooter's good to go back to him whenever he's ready to take it. Cool. Alright, so for now, we're gonna push the blue one outside because everybody yesterday was like, I can't see. There's not enough light. I can't see without the light. So we're gonna push this outside and work on this one out in the sun because unfortunately I don't have tons of light here to work with, if you guys hadn't noticed. But before I go any further, I'm gonna open the other garage door and we're gonna air up these tires because I aired up the other ones last night and this one needs it too. So let me get the compressor ready here. Off. You're gonna have a hard time seeing, so on this one I'm just gonna pull this off so you guys can see better. Okay, there. Now can't complain about not being able to see things, right? Right. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this because clearly carburetor is shit, right? It's shit. So I also want to have a look inside the gas tank here and see what's going on because I see water on this one too. No, but this one doesn't smell too bad. It smells like old fuel, which is problematic. Where the hell is my light? There it is. Let me have a look inside this tank. Oh, there's the fuel filter on this one. Nice. This one's got a little rust in the bottom of the tank, but nothing horrible. This one just needs to be drained bad. So looks like we'll be draining this tank to get me started. So let's disconnect things and get the draining process going. So I don't want to run into another situation like the other scooter. Luckily this tank's not nearly as bad. So I can just tell this rear gas line is horrible. Probably salvageable, but for right now we're just gonna cut this line off here and it's gonna start spewing fuel out immediately, so I'm just gonna have to watch and be very careful what I'm doing here. There we go. There we go. Let's drain all that crap gas out of there. And I'm gonna see if I can find a replacement line from here to there because this line is trashed. So it is trashed. So in a situation like this, you'll notice your new carb normally comes with a lot of extra line on the bottom here. So I'm gonna snip this bottom line in half. This is for the float drain. It's not really necessary to have one this long. You just need a little bit sticking out. So we're gonna steal part of the, okay, come on. We're gonna steal part of the line off there. So we're gonna place that other line and then we still have our little hose leading off. So, oh, this will save them a little money. I don't have to charge them for another line here. I can pull that one off like so. There we go. Let that drain real quick. Pop this guy on there. And then push that sucker on there. There we go. And we can pop this all the way up there. Make sure that holds a good. And I'm pretty sure we're out of fuel now, so I can plug this back in, but first we got to get the old line off of there that's still there. Gotta hate gross fuel. Okay, time to remove the carburetor. The gas has been drained. I've seen inside the tank. I think we're good to go. The seal is in much better condition. There was no water in there, it was just old fuel, so we got that out. Not even much rust came out with it, but 'tis what it is. So, let's go work in the sunlight for you guys today. See if I can make this look easy. 12. Let me bend this down so you guys can see real good. Loosen the throttle cable. This one's already been loosened by somebody else, so clearly somebody was having a go at cleaning the carb. They didn't even put this in right. This is backwards. Didn't do a very good job. All right, that's done. Next up, and I said hey to the rain. Let's get some of these, some of my favorite screwdrivers, all that kind of good stuff. Flathead, never know, you know what I mean? You just never know. All right, see if we can get this last scooter done. I did not anticipate having to drain the tank on these. It is what it is. And this one down the road needs new fuel lines at some point. So let's see where this is. That has not been disconnected, the enricher valve, so we're gonna come over to this side. See if we can spot where the enricher valve is connected. Where's that damn wire I just saw? Now somebody really had this whole bunch of wires really zip tied up there. That was really frustrating. I don't understand why they use so many zip ties. You only need one. Damn. It's totally overdoing the job there. Okay, back to where we were. Can't even get started because I'm having to undo somebody else's work. And then we gotta pull that 8 off of there. Get this. This, same thing as the other one. Drop that there for now. Pull this off with an 8. And I don't know why. I don't know why I took that off. Kind of needed it. So we can remove the float drain, which is down here. That lets me know this is still the stock carburetor. 90% of the aftermarket ones don't come with that stuff. So, there you go. Alright, I can finally get back to pulling the carb, which is the whole thing I wanted to do from the get-go. Alright, let's see if we can pop it out. Disconnect this fuel line, which is probably gonna break. Yeah, it's pretty flimsy. Okay. Surprisingly it didn't. However, come on, get off of there. Come on. Jeez. Well, this was an aftermarket carb, so somebody replaced this carburetor at some point. So I'll probably keep this because I can work on it. Shove that in my carburetor tray for later on. I'll clean it, see how it functions. If it works good, we'll sell it as a used unit to somebody who needs one. So, all right, now that shit's done, let's snip the end of this crap off because this is all dry rotted and probably should have been snipped off a long time ago. There we go. We'll be starting with a fresh tip on the end of that. All right, I can finally get to the carb, and then we'll know in about 5 minutes if this thing's gonna start up or not. And I got a few things to zip tie. We should be good to go, but that carb has been on there for a while. So, getting a fresh, we're gonna run 2 filters on this thing just because I don't know how crappy that original gas was. So, we'll go ahead and plug that line back in here to this. If I can get it, there we go. And now squeeze that. Which unfortunately, my fingers can't go wide enough for that big hole. There we go. That's on there now. And before I go any further, let's drop the enricher valve underneath all this. I don't have to fumble with it here in a minute. Okay, so put this on first if I can get it on there. There we go. And I realize I have no good lighting, guys. There's nothing I can really do about that. No matter which way I angle this right now, because of the angle of the sun, it's just gonna make it either blown out or too dark. Okay, come on, stay there. Don't have time for your silliness. And we're gonna move the throttle to the top here. So we'll move this into place now. If I can get it. Come on, there we go. Pop that out of the way. Get this back inside of there. There we go. Now, make sure all that's good, yep. And we can tighten this puppy down here. That's locked into place. We should be able to add some fuel and try to start this here in a second. It doesn't like that screwdriver because somebody's already stripped this out. So we'll switch to a bigger one. There we go. Good hold there. Now let's put our throttle cable on. Put this through there first. Make sure it's straight. Pull it back. Put that through there. And now, this is where you find out if you got too much slack or not enough. So you can see, this one can come forward quite a bit. So you don't want too much slack in it. So let's see where that leaves us. So we'll actually take a bit more out than that. So this one's gotta be kind of on the end, like so. Yep, perfect. Okay, so we slide that little piece of rubber over that. That's good to go. The scooter's ready to have some fresh fuel added to it and see if it starts. So let's go ahead and do that. That should be plenty. Now that my gas is gone, that should be plenty. Let's put the key on. See if this thing fires up. Everything's good to go. Everything's in its place, that's all. Then we'll tighten it down as soon as we get everything set. See how there's new fuel going in right there. She's starting to go. Yeah, there's still some bad fuel coming through that line right now. I'll probably drain that carb here in a second. We'll let it run for a minute, see what we can run out of it. So I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, guys, and if I have to, I'll open the float bowl drain and we'll drain all the crap that's in the bottom of the float bowl out. Sounds like it's starting to finally run a little bit better here. We'll let it warm up, run for a minute. All right, I'm gonna turn the idle down a little bit. Right there, the tire stopped moving, so we know we found our good idle. As you can tell right out the hole, it's a little boggy. Once it catches, it goes. See? She's not happy. We'll shut her down for now. All right, guys, I popped the air filter off. We're gonna see what happens now. See how it runs with out the air box. See, now it doesn't even want to run. So right now it's still getting too much air and not enough fuel. Just like before, too much air, not enough fuel. So it actually made it worse. So now we know that we need to add more fuel. So let's shut it down before we hurt the engine. We'll go ahead and rehook up the air intake. We're gonna pull this and open up that C-clamp, and if it comes down to it, guys, I will bang that other, I'll take that other carburetor apart, swap out the jets on this one to that one. But let's see if we can just solve the problem really quick here by just adjusting the C-clamp and adding a little bit more fuel. I don't know why they over tighten them from the factory like this. It's so dumb. Aw, you bastard. You get on there now. There's one. God, that was really tight. You see what I'm saying? That's so pointless. I don't understand why they do that. There's two. So dumb. All right. Remember, it is spring loaded. Be careful not to lose your screws inside the machine. Set them down somewhere where you have easy access to them. We're going to adjust that C-clamp. Hopes that that gives us enough fuel. Okay. Okay. Pull the spring. Pull out the vacuum slide. Alright, we got to adjust that C-clamp now. So we're going to add more fuel. Okay guys, same principle as before. That screw comes out, C-clamp adjustment, we got to add fuel, so pop that off there. Once that's out, push it up, all that falls out on its face, set that down. C-clamp, yep, it's on that, it's on the wrong notch, needs to be moved down again. I don't know why they don't just do this at the factory. It's like they force them to run lean. It's really stupid. I don't want to bend the needle, so just take it easy when you do this. Sometimes you get lucky, you can just push it on this way. Most of the time you can't though. Yep, nope. This one wants to put up a fight. So now we're gonna have to do it the other way. We're gonna have to do it this way. Hold it there. Oh my goodness. Set it down. Damn, I hate these little C-clamps. These are so annoying. Little push. There it is. It's on there now. So that raises the needle up because of where it sits now. So that goes on here, just like before. That'll give us more fuel. Now that sits underneath there. That goes on there. This gets spun around until we get to our hole of happiness, which is right there. And we drop the screw down at an angle, like so. Take our Phillips head, get it in there. Tighten her down. Okay, let's go reinstall now. Let's go reinstall it. See if it runs any better. We'll have to hook the air box back up. It was still getting too much air, not enough fuel. There we go. Line up the little puzzle piece with the puzzle piece head. Make sure you got a good seal. Wow, really? It ate both of my... That's crazy. Okay, get your screws ready. We'll do one at a time. Just gonna set that there. I don't feel like arguing with this thing all day. Make sure that that little piece goes in the center. Get it started by hand. There we go. Speed up your process a bit. Just till it's almost tight. And do this side and we'll finish it off with a screwdriver. There we go. Alright, let's finish them off here. There we go. Alright. Okay, we should once again be ready to start this up now. We've adjusted the clamp. Let's see where we end up now. Let it warm up again for a sec. It's getting a lot more fuel now, or it should be. No hesitation anymore. She just goes. Solved. The scooter's done. Ta-da! There you go. Slap it back together. Tell them it's done, ready to roll. And that's how you do it, guys. There's 2 scooters, 24 hours. Both of them start and run good. Pretty much all new components. I just have a few zip ties to put on. I'll load them up, bring him back to his house, and I'm done. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, bro. Yes, sir. Hope you guys learned something. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification. You guys get to watch all the frustrations and all the stuff that works great, but it also shows you how to do a little bit of tuning and understand your scooter a little bit better. So quick ways to find out whether you're running too lean, too rich, does it need more air, does it need less air. These are all things that you learn over time, but I just wanted to show you guys. So that's how I calculate things really quickly. So yeah, scooter's done. She's ready to rip, Chip. Okay, green one done, blue one done. Let's take her for a rip, see how she does. Plenty of air in the tires now. Let her warm up for 1 sec here. So we can figure all this out. See if we can get these back on there. There we go. Looks a little better. Hey, I can actually see now. I did not, by the way, put much gas in this. We're not going too far. That sounds pretty good. It's running pretty darn good, I'd say. As with the other scooter, they're definitely not the fastest thing in the world. But they move. Let it idle. Yep, go from a dig. Yeah, these scooters are ready to go back to their owner. There you go. They're ready to rip, Tater Chip. Both of them. They're ready to go. And that's how she does.
Are you sure this is okay? You're in country, dude. Live a little. Now she's pretty sensitive, so go easy on the throttle, okay? All right.